I'd be okay with that. I saw some tracks. You guys gonna get over that curve or not? What are you getting over the curve? If you do. Everybody.
Okay, yourself, John?
Meeting to order. Meeting for March 1st, 2016, 7:30. Meeting. Teresa, roll call.
Okay, Mayor Campbell.
Here.
Haugen. Haugen.
Here.
McMahon.
Here.
Monahan.
Here.
And Nelson.
Here.
Are there any additions to the agenda? If not, give a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second. Motion by Mark, second by Bill. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We need to approve the minutes of the 3 previous meetings.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting 2:15. Second.
Motion by Mark, second by John. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Motion to approve regular meeting minutes of 2:16.
A second.
Motion by Phil, second by Mark. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Make a motion to approve special meeting minutes 2:22. Second.
Motion by Mark, second by Bill. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Any bills, Teresa?
No, I didn't have any.
Thank you. Jared, good evening.
Evening.
With the warmer weather, we've had some increased speeds, quite a few traffic stops here this last couple weeks, especially on the highway, mostly on traffic. Trying to slow people down, nice weather, people kind of forget to watch the speedometer. So trying to slow people down there for special attention. We kind of had some more ding dong dishers. So what we actually ended up doing now, we had our captain instruct the night deputies. There's going to be strict enforcement on curfew. Most of these are occurring past curfew, with some occurring before, but the night deputies have been instructed to strictly enforce it. So if you guys see juveniles driving around or walking around after curfew, if you could report it to Metro, I'd appreciate it.
What is our curfew again, just for?
For, what is it, 15 and 16-year-olds is 11.
o'clock, yep.
and then 17-year-olds is midnight.
Can I stick my dog on the one that rung my doorbell?
Did you get it too? Yeah, it sounds like it was going around again, so. Trying to get a hold on that, so if you see something, call it in, we'd appreciate it so we can take care of it. And then the other thing, just mostly up to note, not really a trend or anything, just kind of a larger than normal narcotics arrests in the city limits, so. Have any questions or anything for me?
Thank you, Jared.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jerry.
Are there any visitors or registered? We have ordinances, resolutions, and hearings. Second reading of ordinance 627, the 2016 proposed zoning regulations. Lisa?
Okay, this would be second reading of the city's proposed zoning regulations. We had first reading at our last meeting. I would actually like the council to table this for right now. After the first reading, I sent the ordinance to Larry for him to review, our city attorney, and there's a few things that he would like the wording changed or clarified a little bit better. So I'd like to take this back to the P&Z board, have them review it again and get it in a final form, and then bring it back before you guys.
I'll make a motion to table.
Second.
Is this version different than the one you included in the last
No,
packet?
no, that's the same as the first reading, yeah, so there hasn't been changes, and like I said, Larry called in yesterday, and there's a few things that he wants to change, so we'll take that to the P&Z board, and if they change anything, we'll note those changes and let you guys review the final version, yeah.
Mark, you had questions last week?
I do, and if Teresa wouldn't ask for it to be tabled, I was gonna ask too, because I'm not done working through the accessory building portion of it. I talked to Teresa about a couple different scenarios. I understand the thought process moving forward with new construction, 2016 and forward, but I still have concerns with existing properties in town, the irregular lot sizes that are spread throughout this town. And I know when Travis was here, he mentioned that it can be appealed to or they can apply for a conditional use.
They
Right.
can apply for a variance.
A variance,
And
yeah.
so they can appeal to the Board of Adjustments.
So,
to get a
so then that appeal goes to a board of appointed people, and then if it's turned down there, it goes right to court. And, I wanna take the people element out of it. So,
Was there any concern about what was the side yard and what's the backyard? Because I think.
from what I understand, backyard is everything from the back line of your house back.
Correct.
Right,
Yeah, so,
and the side yard would be anything front end of your house, back to the back of your house,
yeah,
and that's your side.
yeah. But I mean, what's the shallowest a house, 26 foot? And then you put another 25 on minimum per backyard, so you're looking at 51 feet, roughly, give or take, And honestly, anybody that knows where I live, I mean, mine is in my side yard and my backyard. But my side yard was bigger than my backyard. So, and I don't know that my property, there's plenty more than me in this town.
Are you gonna be able to go to the P&Z meeting and talk with them, or?
I can.
It's up to you, I mean.
Yeah, I sure can, but I
Teresa
mean,
can-
honestly,
Can convey it as well.
Yeah, and I do have a note to bring up Larry's
Yeah.
comments, and, yeah, you're concerned too, and.
I mean, if there was a way to put the verbiage in to grandfather lots prior to this being implemented without having to get a variance, but I don't know what that verbiage sounds like.
Okay. But you feel comfortable, you got, Teresa can go to them, talk
Yep,
to
I'll bring
Larry.
that up to the board also,
But and as it stands, I won't vote for it, and I don't know if that verbiage is put in there, if one of you three won't vote for it. I mean, it's DOA till May, till there's a council of six. That's my only concern with it, is with the side yard accessory building in the established parts of town. So,
Okay. Any other discussion on the tabling of the second reading? There's a motion by Mark, second by Scott. We'll vote. Mark?
yeah.
John?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Table. First reading of ordinance 628, Teresa.
Okay, well, at our last meeting, Roger Hugo was here, he owns the trailer court property on the north end of town, plus the lot to the east of it. He had asked for that property to be rezoned to community commercial. We had the public hearing last week, there was no opposition. You guys voted to go ahead and rezone it. So I put it in ordinance form because rezone has to be an ordinance, so this ordinance 628 is the rezoning of this property. We'll have first reading tonight, and then second reading will be at our next meeting.
Make a motion, first reading.
I'll second.
Second by John. Discussion?
Just a quick question, I mean, there's any timeline on this community commercial? I mean, it's infinity really, henceforth, right?
Once it all passes and the 20 days after publication, once it becomes effective,
Yeah,
that land will be then community commercial. Unless somebody who brings an application wants to rezone it again, and then, you know,
Right.
whatever council sitting here could rezone it.
okay.
Any other further discussion? We'll vote. Scott?
Yes,
Mark?
Yeah.
John?
Yes.
Bill?
Yeah.
Passes. Old business, review the dental quotes. Teresa?
Okay, well, in your packet is the same information was in there last week. Council had asked me back in January to get quotes for, dental insurance to offer the employees. I contacted an agent who basically gave me quotes from Delta Dental. There's 4 different plans. Took this back to the employees, council wanted their input as far as what plan they prefer and if they would participate in dental insurance if offered. And basically, Rhonda, Craig, and myself prefer if you would offer it plan 9070, the second plan, the second column, and we would all participate if offered. Neil, he gets dental cheaper than this, any of the plans with his wife, and Jesse was not gonna participate, so.
Is there, are these plans able to be, if we go through and approve this, those that would go in effect at what point in time?
Well, I'd have to contact them, but then they'd have a sign-up period, so it'd probably be at least 30 days before we go into effect, you know. They'd have an open enrollment period of at least 30 days and.
And then the plan, can it be, we can, if you guys find something, you modify it or change it?
The plan we go with will be good for a year, and then, you know, we can either renew the same plan, or if we wanna change plans at that time, then we can change it, so they're effective for 1 year.
It is effective for 1
Yep,
year.
that's what Gail said.
I will make a motion to have the city administrator contact Delta Dental and implement Plan 9070 for a city benefit.
second.
Any discussion on this, further discussion?
I guess I would just need to clarify, you know, we talked about this earlier, you were talking about the city paying 50% and employee paying 50%. Is that still what you're talking about, or are you offering this for the employees to pay?
That should probably be in the motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the city picking up 50% of the, I'm locking up, what's it
Cost.
called?
Monthly cost.
Monthly.
Premium.
Monthly premium, yeah.
And the employee picking up the other 50.
I will still second that if that's the case.
All right, any further discussion? We'll vote. Mark?
Yeah.
Scott?
Yes,
Bill?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Good deal. All right, new business, the review of the agreement between the county and the city on the bike path along the Fulton Road. Teresa?
Okay, well, in your packet is an agreement, that if we put in the bike path along the Colton Road with the county project, it's an agreement basically stating that, you know, we will be responsible for the care and maintenance of that, path going forward. Larry did look at this also, when I talked to him on Monday, there was a couple of tweaks he wanted to make in that too, so I I'm gonna ask him to table this one also until our next meeting. Basically, he wanted an exhibit to show where the drainage is, because it's referred to in that, agreement there, and then he also wants to clarify, there's also a section in there that states that city's responsible for the snow removal on the path and the right-of-way. He wants to clarify it's the city right-of-way, not the county right-of-way, that we won't be, clearing the county's road for them. So, talked with the county, they're gonna make those changes, and, once we get then a final draft, I can bring that to you at the next council meeting.
Make a motion to table the agreement with the county for the next meeting. Or until such time it's ready.
Second.
Time is the essence though on this, right? Let's expand on that if you could.
Well, when we had our meeting, I talked with Jason, we had a meeting last night and talked with Jason. They're not gonna bid it out until the end of the month, so if we have it before the next meeting, we're still within the
Still okay
timeframe.
with that.
Yep.
Any word from Andrew at all? By chance, did he have a chance to pursue anybody that was, for lack of a better term, on the list?
I haven't heard anything today.
Anything from today? Okay.
How does, item 3B relate to the agreed, 3664 arrangement?
Just a second, let me get the freebie.
Page 1.
As far as at the agreed upon price,
Well, the 72, 750, I believe, is the agreed upon price, but
Yes.
in 3B, it states that the total cost is $145,000, and that the city will be reimbursing the county 50%.
Up to that point though.
yeah, and that's basically, the county and the city is going to at 50% share the cost of the trail, but the county is picking up all the engineering and all the contingencies.
So that takes it beyond the 140.
Yes, it takes it beyond that one, yep, exactly. So if you take the total cost, including the engineering and all that, we're only paying a 36% share, yeah.
And then you want to update the council on the fact that during that discussion last night,
Yeah, I was gonna during my report, but, actually, we did have a meeting with, the county last night in regards to this trail going in. There was county personnel there were their engineers there, and the Bike and Rec Trail Committee, and Mark and Scott were also present. Basically, we sat down, we wanted the county to basically give us some more specifics on exactly, how the trail's going in, where it's going in, kind of answer some of our questions. Get that information to the Bike Rec Trail Committee, because they were going to try and talk with a few homeowners too, and make sure we get the right information out there. So, and it was a good meeting, they did clarify a lot of questions about the trail. I think it ended up that we want to have a meeting with all the landowners along there at the end of this month. I'm trying to set up either for March 28th or the 31st with the county. Have them, county personnel there again, have their engineers there again, the committee, and invite all those landowners. Because we want to make sure that we're getting they have all their questions answered, that they're getting the right information. I think there's some misconceptions out there. A few of us have heard that what's been said, and it isn't completely right. So we want to make sure they know exactly, how this trail is going to go in, where it's going to go in, how it's going to affect them, and answer any questions they have, just so there isn't any misconceptions out
So the
there.
next time we're gonna review this contract will be the first meeting in April,
Well,
not before.
I talked with the county about moving ahead. They said they're gonna, even if all the landowners don't get on board with giving easements for this trail, they're still gonna go ahead and put the trail in their bid. They're gonna move ahead like it's a done deal. Now, if somewhere down the line, we can't get all the easements, absolutely, the homeowners absolutely don't want it, and it needs to be pulled out of the project, they'll do a change order and pull it out.
These are work area easements.
Yes, yeah, work area easements, yeah, they're not any permanent easements on their property, yeah. They're just temporary, construction easements to go in there, do the work, and then get out.
How
So,
many of those do they need?
well, they need them for all the landowners along there. There are a few of them they don't have to have, which I think that's about 3 or 4 of them, but then the rest of the landowners along there, they do have to have.
I think there's two that are really important that they gotta get. You said the rest of
They
them
need,
kind
they
of
need
work out.
2 for the road,
Yeah.
and the rest they need
For the
for
bike.
the trail.
So anyway, so as far as the agreement, you know, I've talked to Jason. He says we'll still move ahead with that. They're still gonna move ahead with their bidding because they're gonna be advertising that, just like if the trial was going in and it, like I said, for some reason it goes south, you know, and it doesn't happen, then they'll do a change order and just take it out of their project.
Okay. Thank you for the update. So we have a motion to table by Mark, second by Bill, any further discussion? We'll vote. John?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Mark?
Yeah.
Date of the second meeting in March.
The second meeting that's planned in for this month is March 15th, and I think that we have a couple conflicts coming up with that. So wondering if you want to postpone that meeting in order to have a quorum and a full council until the following Tuesday on the 22nd. There's no P and Z meeting or anything that night, because that won't be till the 29th, so the 22nd would be free if that would work out better for the council.
Get 'em.
Works for me. I'll make a motion to set the second city council meeting in March to the 22nd, 7 o'clock, 7 p.m.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Motion by Mark, second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Discussion of the Chamber Economic Development Director position. I think at this time, let everybody know, we had interviews, and at this time, the council has not come to a consensus on the position. I think the consensus is that we open it back up for advertising. We've asked for people to reapply if they feel they want to. I believe that's right, council?
Have you already done that, Teresa?
No, I was waiting till we got a.
I'll make a motion to re-advertise for the EDD for 6 weeks,
Second.
in all the regular places.
Motion by Mark, second by Scott. Do we, when you say regular place, that's one thing, the question is, how far north are we advertising? Do we go up to Fargo or Minneapolis?
Well, there's a regional economic developers group that I shot it to the last time we advertised, and that's mainly probably just South Dakota. It probably doesn't get that far, you know, up north. There is an international economic development group. It cost you like $500 and some to advertise there. I didn't the last go around. I don't know if that's something you guys want to entertain this go around, but that would reach everywhere.
How many applicants did we get?
9, I think we did. if I remember.
Maybe at the end of the next 6 weeks, maybe we just look at all of them.
Maybe.
I mean, whether they have the credentials or not, maybe we just look at all of them.
And then, of course, we just advertise around here to,
Yeah.
you know, on Kello and the papers and, our, you know, our website and, you know, just, you know.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Discussion of finance officer position. Similar scenario, we interviewed, and there was one person who was interested in, but they decided not to move forward. So I think we need to reopen this back up again immediately and advertise. I think that's the council's consensus as well.
Same means of distribution as far as the word, Teresa?
Yeah, so-
How many do we have apply?
Now, that position we had 25,
Did
26.
you really have that many?
Yeah, there's
Okay.
quite a few.
So it got a lot of people's attention.
Mhm.
How long did we advertise last time?
at least 3, if not 4 weeks.
I make a motion to, re-advertise the, FO position for a total of 2 weeks.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion?
Can you encourage the previous ones to reapply?
Mhm.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Do we have any correspondence? Mitch is gonna be here at the top of the hour, my understanding is, right?
That's what he was trying for, to be here at 8.
So we'll move right in with, all reports, and Craig.
Streets, been servicing equipment, getting everything ready for spring. We'll be working on the gravel roads and the alleys as, weather keeps changing on us, keep them in shape. Bids for microsurfacing is gonna be March 3rd, that's in Sioux Falls. So we'll see what kind of numbers we get. The county just got done bidding some of their projects, and they said their numbers came in really good, so I'm hoping for some decent numbers for that. I received prices on mag water and crack sealing. Mag water, in the past, we've always went through Bumblebee Gibson's, and they're gonna keep the price the same at $1.38. I'd like to stick with them again this year.
What do we budget, Craig?
20, I'd have to look, it's like right around 20,000.
I'll make a motion to go with Bumblebee Gibson up to our budget amount.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Mark, second by Scott, discussion.
That's once a year.
Now, hang on.
We'll have
Okay,
some
there's some discussion. Well,
We'll have extra product. We had a little bit left over last year, but we had decent fall, so we didn't have a lot of dry spots, so.
Is that what it cost per gallon last year?
Yeah, $1.38.
Taking care of your neighbors, is that what you're doing?
what's that?
You taking care of your neighbors?
He is.
And I'm kinda taking care of them, cause they chew my butt when I don't.
Okay. Any further discussion on the mag water motion? Vote. Bill?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Mark?
Yeah.
John?
Yes.
And then for crack sealing, we've past quite a few years, we went with highway improvements. That was 70 cents a foot last year, and he's gonna keep the price the same this year too for us. So I'd like to go back with them. We haven't had any issues with them. It's been good to work with them, so.
You know what we budgeted for that?
Under 25,000. I think it's right around 19,000.
I'll make a motion to approve the crack ceiling with highway improvements up to the budgeted amount.
I'll second that.
Discussion?
You just asked for the money, you don't know how much it is, Craig, or?
I'd have to go back and look. I figure out my footage that I believe I'm gonna need, and then I figure
Just
the
give me a
price.
hard time.
I'm usually pretty good on those numbers for staying under budget, so.
Appropriations will vote. Mark?
Yeah.
Scott?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Water and sewer, we did, get the maps from Mitch. We got them all updated for the water and the wastewater, and the storm sewer maps are all just getting ready to be redone. He's got all the information he put in. I did receive confirmation from DNR. They did accept our, revised total coliform rural sites, so we'll be sampling from different sites we have in the past for water samples. We'll be starting them actually next month here, or this month here, so we'll be starting them. And I did get prices for the Colton Road project that we discussed a little bit about. What we've got is we've got 3 lines that are stubbed out on Colton Road, Sagehorn, Pineview, and Ironwood, or Fairway Lane, excuse me, are all stubbed out, but they're not looped together. And if we put the project in up there in the bike path, we'd be one of those things we'd probably never get them looped. So I looked into some numbers and that, I did just get one number, and that will keep under where we wouldn't have to bid it. That's right at 50,000, so we'll be under that number. That'd be having somebody come in and do the whole work for us. But if we have a decent summer and we're freed up, we'd have somebody who help them, or maybe even haul the rock or whatever and keep that price down. But that'd be the max we'd have is under 50,000 for it. So whether you guys wanna proceed with it or not, that's up to you guys on that. So it's something that we didn't plan on, but I guess we weren't really planning on a bike trail either until.
How far out are they stubbed?
They're all out in the right of way, in the county's right of way.
Feet.
We're gonna have
10
about
feet.
15, we'll have about 1,500 feet to put in, so we're gonna have.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at is how far does the stub go out?
From the valves, the one's probably 100 and some feet.
Really, it's that far?
Yep, the other one's probably close to the same amount.
Would it be cheaper just to cap them? Just cut them off at the valve and cap
We
them?
could cut the street and cap them, yeah.
Because I mean, if there's, what's, if we take the loop conversation out of it,
I mean, they're.
where were they stubbed out to eventually go?
They were eventually subbed out to get looped together, but they never got done.
They stubbed them out for the sole purpose of looping them?
Yeah, down the road sometime, but they,
But why would you stub it out to loop it when you wouldn't even have to put the stub in if you were just gonna loop it? Cause obviously it's a T.
well, they had to put a valve in so that they could isolate the other portion of the line so that they could get those houses hooked up on that area. So then they brought, from that valve, they brought it out and down that.
Is that valve an L or is that valve a T?
The valve's actually about probably 100 feet down on each street. Up on Pineview, I haven't even found a valve up there, so I don't even know if there's a valve even in place.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, if the intention was to never stub it out to
yeah. And
houses,
and
property,
excuse me, we wouldn't, actually, we looked at that about bringing it across, but we really don't need to bring it across the road or the highway, because we got road water on the other side. Where those are stubbed out to, they're right in line with some other houses and stuff like that, so I mean, you'd never bring it across, it'd just be basically loop that together. I mean, we could certainly just stop them and have, but you'd have some dead end lines there, I mean, you'd still have people using water, so you'd still have the water moving. I mean, we could certainly do that way too, so.
well, could they be dead ended and keep the water flowing? So you wouldn't have stagnant water or not?
That's the way it is basically right now, is that, you know, you're.
Yeah, but right now you just said there's like 100 foot of water that's,
But that's past the valve that's not being used. So basically, where the valve's at, it's stubbed out and then down the ditch, and that's the area that's just, it's a dead line basically is all it is right now. You'd wanna, to do it right, you'd wanna take that out, and either cap the backside of that valve and then pull the valve riser right off so you didn't even know the valve was even there, and just leave it like that. I mean, which could certainly be done too, you'd have to cut the one would have to dig up and try to find. I mean, I have no idea if there's even one there. Our plans show it, but those plans or maps are put together way before me, so.
way before you?
A few years before me.
The funds for that would come out of the water,
Yeah, I assume we take it out of the water fund.
and that water fund sits,
It's pretty healthy, you know, we paid that project last year, and so it's been paid down some, but we still got about 700,000 in reserves for the water fund, so it's pretty healthy.
what's the right way to do it?
I would like to look at where the valves are actually at, where the last service line is on them, to see how much stagnant water we do have in there. Yet the right way is to loop everything, keep it looped out, but I mean, because you're gonna have some dead end lines in there, so, which.
So when you say take a look at it, well, how long will it take you to take a look at it?
I mean, I could look at the maps really close and go up there in the streets and measure things out and find out where curb stops are and stuff like that, and do some more research into it. I mean, to see how much it's gonna be as far as.
Well, but I mean, maybe we cap one and loop the other two, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe we do a
Like I
combination
said,
of
the one on,
both of them.
yeah, the one on, Pineview, I have no idea where that line's even at, or where it's, if it's T, where.
You don't know where the line's at, or you don't know where the valve's at?
I don't know for sure where the line or the valve is at up there. Cause without a valve, you can't find the line, so and there's no tracer wires on it. And we've never had to dig it up to do any work
And
on it.
that's before you?
Yep.
Really?
Not
You've been here a long, you've been here a long time.
Not very much, but it's before me.
Well, I think, yeah, you get some more research for you.
I'll do some more research on it and just see where like I said, the one I'm not sure on, might be something we might just dig the ditch and see what's down there too, but, we've got plenty of time to do something with this because once and I've talked to the county about Jason Reeves with that, and we wouldn't even start until after they were past that area, so I mean, we got till midsummer to make a decision on this here anyway, so. I'll do some more research on it and see where.
Well, the bike path's not planned for
Yeah,
2017.
they'll get the grading done and the gravel on it, but we want to do it all before any of the grading gets done, so that way they do the cleanup on it and stuff like that. So I'll do some work, looking into that and see where everything's at for sure.
Craig, I gotta ask one more question in regards, you kept saying the ditch, okay, so I'm trying to visualize. When you say the ditch, you're not talking just on the west side of the Colton Road, are you?
Yeah.
You are.
Yep.
Okay, so pertinence to what we were talking about last night, just a little bit. If the bike path was moved closer, I mean, how much space do you need there between the Colton Road and the bike path to still be able to, get access? I mean, because if the bike path is there's a possible proposal to move it closer to the road itself, okay? Am I right, Teresa?
Yeah, that was talked about last
Yeah,
time.
I mean, is that, do you feel an
It's-
issue?
I think it'd still be right on the edge of the bike path with this line at this
Okay.
time, where it's at.
You think there'd be enough room, if just hypothetically, and I assume you've seen the map, that the bike path was moved over 5 feet, closer towards the Colton Road, that you still have enough to do what you need to do? Sorry,
I don't-
tough question.
Yeah, I don't think you would, I think you'd be too tight in there, because there's some lines in there too, I'm not sure what's all in there, there's a power in there, and I think there might be some old phone lines in there.
Okay.
So,
So once again, if I'm understanding you correctly, at this point in time, knowing, probably what little you know about where the bike path is planning on going, although I'm guessing you're pretty privy to it, obviously, it would not be advantageous to move that bike path any closer to the Colton Road.
I don't think it'd make a bit of difference on this water line, I think you'd be right on the edge of it no matter, you just want to put it right next to the Colton Road in order to even have enough area to work in there, so.
Okay. Thank you.
It's less of a looping the pipe problem than it is going in and fixing it if you had to.
Yeah, if
After
you ever
the
had to
project.
fix it down the road, I mean, it's no different than a street, you'd be just cutting and fixing like you would if you had a water break on another road somewhere, so.
If we're gonna loop it, we have to loop it in 2016.
Yeah, you'd wanna do it prior
Do
to
it
then.
before you lay the asphalt
Yeah.
of the trail.
I'll do some more research on it and find out how much dead end lines we actually have in there and try to figure out. Like I said, it's about 1,500 feet of pipe that we'd have to put in, so it's a pretty good little jump. But I'll do some more research on it. Park and pool, soon as we get the pre-con meeting with the pool, we'll find out, we'll be working with the contractor basically. We have some removals that the city's gonna take care of, taking out some of the fence, taking out some of the concrete work and that. But we gotta kinda schedule with them as far as when they're gonna be able to come in and put another fence back in and everything like that. So we'll be soon, I think we're next week maybe.
We're trying to line up for next week, yeah.
So once we have that, then we'll be able to start on this pool project and get our stuff out of the way before the contractor gets in there. So we'll be working on that here next few weeks, probably getting that going. The one flower bed in the main park, Terry's been working on that. He cleaned it all out and put some new fabric down and mulch and that stuff. He's been working with Red Hatters and they're gonna come in there and plant it like they did Turtle Creek one and take care of it for us. So we're gonna let them have at it and do their wonders with it, so that'll be getting taken care of. Public buildings, we're looking into repairing our floor drains in both of our shops right now, because they're getting pretty sad shape, so we're looking at doing some with them. Hopefully here within a couple weeks, we'll have them replaced and taken care of. That's all I've got to report.
Okay, thanks, Craig. Any other questions for Craig?
Tell the guys, I said thanks for starting early this morning.
We have a plan.
I'm glad it obviously worked, 'cause,
I'll let them know.
I think Terry came by my place and put a nice windrow in front of my driveway before 7, so that was nice. It wasn't you?
That was Neil, I think, right?
It was nice to see it there before 7 instead of after 9, so.
Okay, Teresa, finance officer report.
With the finance officer report, give you kind of highlight of what we've had for revenue coming in this past month. I'll be working on end of the month for February here, the next week or two. Gave you a rundown of where we're sitting at our cash balances on our general fund and our park fund. And also showed you for January, what we've had for revenue and expenses in January and then to date, which of course are the same. Elections, petitions were turned in last Friday, that was the last date. We will have 2 races. We will have a race in Ward 1 and a race in Ward 2. Ward 1, we have Bob Dilstra and Mark Brenneman have turned in good petitions, and then in Ward 2, we'll have a three-way race. Ken Warren, Andrea Finch, and Ryan Horn have all submitted good petitions. Ward 3, Scott Nelson turned in a petition for the 2-year term. He was the only one, so he'll automatically be in May. And then Jeremy Minnie submitted a petition for the 1-year term, and so he's automatically will take a seat in May also. So with that being said, we need to draw names for placement on the ballot. So, you want to be my drawer?
No.
Okay, we'll make Rosie do it then. So we got Bob Dills for Mark Brenneman, you see them? All right. And now you just need to do it. So first one that will be at the first place, and then of course the other one will be the second. Mark Brenneman will be number 1. Let me write this down quick. And of course, Bob Dilstra will be 2. Okay, and then for Ward 2, we have Ken Warren, Ryan Horn, and Andrea. Okay. It's all legal. Magic. Okay. So, this will be the first position. Andrea Finch, and then the second. Oops. Andrea, Ken Warren, and then Ryan Horn will be in the third. So, okay, that's done. Write those down quick. You want to sign as a witness? All right. Okay, that's how they'll go on the ballots then, so got that done. And then, just want to remind you, equalization meeting is coming up on the 21st. We have that at 6 o'clock here. I haven't heard back from the school yet as who the representative is going to be as far as the school board. I have contacted the county and they're going to be sending a representative also here that night, so that's all lined up. And then I just have a calendar of events for what's coming up this coming month for you. That's for the finance officer report. And then on my report, I just have a couple of updates for you also. Just want to tell you, for the EDD update, we did have one RFI come through from the governor's office. It was a project they called Project Benedict. It was for a large-scale egg plant. Basically, took this to the HADC board, and we don't have any land area enough, big enough. Well, definitely not any in town, not even around town. I don't even know in Minnehaha County if you had a space big enough for this. It's gonna be a real large-scale producer. Require a lot of water a day, a lot of corn usage a day, and we just don't have a site that's available that would accommodate such a project. So we passed on that. The HADC did have their annual meeting last Thursday, and they had a really good turnout for it. I wanna say there's about 35, 36 people there, so, we had some good speakers there, and, developers come, realtors came. Like I said, it was a good conversation, a lot of information presented, and, it was a good meeting. Other item, just wanna give you an update as far as the dump tickets that we're gonna be utilizing instead of having the cleanup day. I did contact the county. We had originally talked about having the tickets go from May 1st to August 31st. They want to actually cut it off July 31st, only make it for a 3-month period. They said they really don't want to encompass longer than 3 months, they don't want to drag it out. They said they'll be willing to go from May 1st to July 31st instead of the August 31st.
I mean, it's free, so I mean, this is a heck of a
Yeah,
deal we're getting on it, so I don't think we wanna buck it too hard.
that's what I thought. Well, if they want to cut it off a month earlier, it'll just have to be known that you're gonna get it done by July 1st.
It is 18.
31st.
It is $18 to go there and dump.
To go there and dump
Yeah,
those, is that what the load is?
For one
So-
load, so
Yeah, so
that's,
they're giving us 500 tickets at $18, so, yeah, it's a good deal, so. He put me in contact with the gal that, will kind of send me the information of what needs to be on the ticket and what they need to look at, so we can get those printed up within the next month, and we'll make sure we'll have them all ready and available by May 1st, and get it advertised out there, so.
Are we gonna print those in-house?
Yes, that was one of the things we agreed to at the time, that we would print out the tickets, so.
Okay.
As long as I get the information, I think it's something we can do on our computer and up here, so. And then, I kind of gave you an update on the bike trail along Colton Road. I just wanted to also give you a little update on the Mike Franken Trail. I did get a hold of the state on Monday, kind of bent a couple of ears. Talked with Jerry Orban, he's in charge of it now, he's the new Nancy there, and wondering what's taken so long. He called me back yesterday. We have approval for it. They're gonna send me out a new contract to basically revamp the number. Basically, they're gonna give us more money, cause it's gonna be more costly to go back to this first design. But they're gonna send out a new agreement, and as soon as that gets signed by us, they will issue a notice to proceed.
and the
So
guy's
hopefully we're
name,
making some progress.
the guy's name was what?
Jerry Orban is the
Orban?
ORTBAUN maybe, or?
I'm just curious, okay.
Yeah, I have an email, I could get that to you, but, yeah, he's the one in charge of it at the state now,
Okay.
in the project, so he's our go-between. So I
So
told
what's
him, great,
the-
I'm anxiously awaiting to see those documents.
What's the bid letting timeframe?
It depends on when they get a notice to proceed, you know, that it has to go through the state bid letting because it's their project, so I don't know how often.
They're probably already letting for bid,
Oh, yeah, they're letting some projects already out.
so they're gonna let for bid when again in the fall?
I think they kind of do it all year long.
Do they do it all
They
year
do it
long?
different timeframes.
It's
all
gotta be
year
let
long.
out of Mitchell though, right? I think the Mitchell office is the one that lets
I'm
the.
not sure if it's a Mitchell or Pier one, which one they let it out of, but, yeah, it'll go on their bid letting schedule, so. It's still a long ways to go, but at least maybe we're maybe making some progress.
It's only been 3 years.
That's better than no word yet, so,
That's true.
that's where we're standing there. And then I was also just gonna let you know that, we did receive preliminary plans from Sam Assam for his development east of town, so our engineer is reviewing them right now, and we're looking over them, and we are hoping to meet with them in the next couple of weeks and be able to come before you guys with more details, so,
You're gonna meet with his team?
Yeah.
City staff's gonna meet with his team?
yeah. We wanna meet first, me, Craig, Mitch probably with Sam and his engineer, and, go over the plan, see if there's anything that needs to be changed, or, you know, make sure all of Mitch's comments are addressed in ours.
Do you think they're gonna ask you what the city's willing to do?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they're probably
Will
gonna
you,
ask that.
on behalf of me, can you ask them what they're willing to do?
Oh, sure you did.
We've done that.
We've done that, yes. What are you willing to do? Yeah, yes, that's become up too, so.
Cause they've been here, what, 2 or 3 times?
Oh, at least.
Oh, yeah.
And they ask that question every time,
Mhm.
so.
And Sam was at the HEDC meeting,
Mhm.
which was encouraging.
Yeah, so that's my update.
Okay, great, thank you. Mitch is still,
Still not here.
because we do need to go into executive session, so.
Like I said, I, you know, his report was in your packet, and, you know, there's not a whole lot of new items in there. Pool project, Craig kind of touched on that, where we're gonna try and get a pre-con meeting, a pre-construction meeting together next week, hopefully, with the, you know, contractor on that project, and so we can start moving forward. We've already signed the notice to proceed, so they've got all that information, we just, you know, need to have that pre-con and get started if the weather holds out. And like Craig also mentioned, Mitch gave us maps to update, and so, do any changes that need to be made on it, and we're gonna give them, and they're gonna put it into their GI system and get some new updated maps done. They did all the utility maps, and me and Rhonda just today went through and updated all our address maps and subdivision maps, so we'll get them all updated, and, give you an update on the Mike Franken Trail and the Turtle Creek subdivision, and kind of gone through it all.
Okay.
We're going into executive.
I just need, I need personnel, for personnel.
Make a motion, go into executive session.
Second.
Now.
Somebody Mark, second by Scott.